be the new channel, and I'm coming live from Windsor, Ontario. It's a small little place in Canada, right at the tip, right above Detroit, Michigan, right across the border. Technically, right above, but we're right across, and we seem to not get too much spillover of these American protests and things like that. I've just noticed we have had like very, very calm marches and things like that during all this crazy riots and stuff going on in the States, and even in some cities here, like Montreal's been on fire, Toronto's on fire. I'm assuming Vancouver is too. I haven't really checked into it, to be honest, but generally that's how things follow suit. Windsor, though, for some reason, it's always like calm compared to everything else. And that's being right across from Detroit, Michigan. I don't know how or why, but we don't seem to get all the craziness. Mind you, we get like the marches and things like that, but like our city's fine right now. You can go anywhere you want. It's not in flames. It's not dangerous or anything. And I mean that's pretty much all year round though. Like we never have had a very dangerous city. I know now people try to think that it's like more dangerous, but I think it's just the reporting. Because even for a small city, it's still a very low crime rate, especially when you consider like Winnipeg has high crime. It's fucking Winnipeg, but I wanted to just touch on the subject a little bit because it's been a long time coming, me making a channel, but I think right now is like time to kind of speak out. I don't find all these riots very productive. You've seen the riots in Detroit years ago and all the like riots after the MLK shooting and things like that. And some can argue that it's like helped a little bit, but has it really? I mean, the state of the police right now is probably the worst it's ever been. By no means am I on the side of cops, but it's just I don't know. I find it weird that how shitty the state of everything is. It's just I think it's more just the presence, like the social media and everything like that, just bringing attention to it. But when you look at like what happened, really, it was not an unprecedented situation. It's happened many times. The timing of it was weird. All of a sudden, the pandemic's not working anymore. People are like revolting. They're starting to go for bike rides again and starting to fucking go play football with each other and basketball. The one night, before the protests even, I went to one of the stores near here, and it's like just a basic area in Windsor. There was tons of kids playing basketball at the park. That was before all of this started like unleashing everybody just going and doing what the fuck they want again. And playing basketball, walking with their friends, all kinds of stuff. And that's when I was like, okay, like I think people are just getting sick of it, or I don't know. But then the riots, like there's thousands of people side by side with each other and not worrying about anything. Not worried about a fucking virus, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens with that. Like, are we gonna see another crazy surge in cases, or was it just all a fucking hoax? We don't know, man. And I don't pretend to have the answers. I like to think I kind of know what's going on with it, but I really don't. And then you watch like shows like fucking Rogan, and he's having all these people on and talking about the virus, and they don't seem like they know what the fuck they're talking about either. Really, they act like they do. So does he, really. And I mean, nothing really against him. I used to be a big fan. I don't really like watching him that much anymore because of some of the strange people he lines himself with. But yeah, it's like, and the strange thing is all the same people that were telling these Republicans, right wingers, to stay inside. These are all the exact same people that are now protesting in the streets, and they don't care. They thought it was dangerous when the right wingers were doing it with their guns, but probably just because they had guns on them. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. It's just getting a little silly. I had a lot of friends on Facebook and Instagram popping the black picture on their Instagram profiles, and same with Facebook. And I saw an interesting video not too long after that all started where somebody, I can't even remember who it was. I know Sam Tripoli did I think just like a recap of the guy's video, that whoever did this. But what he did was he typed in hashtag Black Lives Matter, and it was like thousands of blacked out pictures. No videos of the riots, no pictures of, these police being killed, nothing. Everything was blacked out. So, and you got to think, you got to know that these things are all manufactured. There's no way that these things just happen organically. Like I said, there's been thousands of police shootings nonstop for years and years and years. And this one was like the linchpin. Even remember not too long ago, there was the case with, it wasn't a cop, I guess, but people impersonating cops, these fucking hicks from wherever it was, Kentucky, trying to fucking citizens arrest that dude, a black dude. I can't remember his name. And they kill him, and there's a little bit of outrage, but it barely made any waves. And all of a sudden, this one pops up, and the country's on fire. And I say the country, but you could say the continent, because even here in Canada, man, it's getting pretty crazy. I saw some videos from Montreal, man. They weren't playing. It was some serious shit going. I'm just fortunate, man, that I live in Windsor. There's not much going on here ever. Even in the midst of everything, even the election and things like that, there wasn't much going on at the time. There was no protests here. There was of our version of the Women's March, but it wasn't anything like anywhere in the States at any point in time. And like I said, it's strange because it's right across from Detroit. Detroit has a very, very big influence on us. We constantly get confused for Americans in that way. We're Canadian, but we have very American tendencies, even in our speech and everything. I don't know if you noticed it on me, but they're very similar to us. Oh, well, we're very similar to them. They're the ones that set the groundwork, not us. We kind of just copy everything. But I don't know. I was blown away at how crazy all of that stuff got within it's only been 5 days now. 5-6 days, whatever it was. That happened last week, but it wasn't much, man. It wasn't much time, and these cities are on fire right now. And then statues being toppled and things like that. I find that so gross, though. They tried doing that with our John A. MacDonald statues. John A. MacDonald, say what you want about him, he was still the first prime minister, And I don't like to get too mixed up on that. Whatever. I don't really care. But destroy the statue. I don't know. I think I'm more of a fan of the art of everything than the actual dudes. All these Confederate statues, they're beautifully made, man. And I don't know. I just find it just so disrespectful and gross when people are smashing these things and wrapping ropes around it and pulling it off of the truck. The crazy part to me is how did they get away with this? Everything is on film, man. Everything. Everywhere is fucking filmed. And somehow these people get away with chaining that fucking thing up and pulling it off. How? I know I have a hard time pissing in an alley because I feel like I'm being recorded everywhere. But to fucking pull that shit off, and even these riots, man, like smashing federal building windows and spray painting on them, and these two got arrested in New York for Molotov cocktailing at a police station. And it's like, only two? There was way more people destroying that shit and causing damage to it than just those two. Somehow they are the only two that got arrested. And I mean, the deaths involved in this, it's becoming unprecedented, I guess you could say. I remember years ago there was the Black Lives Matter protest, and those, I think it was 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, cops were killed in Texas. And like, that was big business. This time it's like 6 people have died already in 6 days because of this. 6 blacks, anyways. I don't even know how many other people, but 6 blacks specifically during Black Lives Matter protests, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy to me. I don't know why people want to do this to their towns. And the explanations are so far-fetched, saying this is the only way we're going to get attention to it. No, there's many ways to get attention to it. And even the peaceful protests, I can't stand this shit, man. If you're protesting, man, like, come on. I don't care if people hate me for that. It doesn't matter to me. I just find it so fucking absurd, man. Like, you go back for anything. The protests might have a little bit to do with it. But this is all decisions by the government, man. Whether it's, executive, or if it's judicial, whatever it may be in the States. These protests, they're not doing that much. I don't care what anybody says. They think they are. And they're causing all this damage. But now Minneapolis is like about to abolish their police because of the protests. This has been in the making, man. People have been saying this for years. They're not playing now. Like, they're actually thinking about this. And Biden is actually talking about doing this. He's on the side of that. And Omar, too. I mean, it's her. I don't like to, like I said, I don't really like to talk politics, but with everything going on, you can't look away. These politicians are right in the middle of all this shit right now. Like, even Romney and Bush, too, now, like, getting involved in this. Like, do you not recall Romney and Bush being called the most racist piece of shit people in the country? You guys were both fucking strung up as racists and as bigots, and now you're doing the same thing to Trump. Like, it's just, that's gross too, man. Like, you guys should have learned your lessons. And now they're saying they're not going to back him. They never backed him anyways. So, I mean, whatever. But, yeah, for you guys to say that he's this and he's that and he doesn't care about these people. Bush was by far way dumber than any of the past presidents that I recall. A stupid man. Very poorly spoken. Very poorly spoken. And everybody called him racist all the time. Remember Kanye? Kanye saying that he didn't care about black people because of everything in New Orleans. And then Romney, I think it was idiot Biden anyways, that said, he's going to have y'all back in chains or whatever, but I don't know. And Romney's going to have people back in chains. Oh, Biden has the worst track record when it comes to anything he's spouting off about, and he's trying to blame other people. It's just projection, obviously. But, I mean, we think these ones are bad, these riots. November is going to be scary. I can tell now. Remember the last ones. These Antifa kids destroying cities at that time. All because of a democratic election. Well, I know it's not democratic, but all because of an election result that they didn't like. I don't recall anything like that with Bush. I remember some people being a little upset, but people did not act like this. And same with when Romney lost. Like, Republicans did not act like this. And it's just scary to think about what's going to happen in the next little while. I mean, Canada, again, I don't know if we're going to get it at all, because we didn't really get it before. There was a little bit, like, these morons going out. The fascists are taking over. Like, I don't understand how, like, and I know this is, like, such a stupid, like, right-wing talking point, but it's like, how do they not see that it's just projection, what they're doing? All the things they say that Trump is doing is all things that they do. Like, he's so not a fascist. It's retarded. Makes no sense. And when you really press them on it, they have no answers. They act like they do. There's one kid on the Windsor Star here that anything social justice-wise, he always has to comment on anything. And he's constantly like, no, the right wing's being pushed and blah, blah. In what way? In what way? Especially a fascist right wing? There's nothing pointing to that. Nothing. If they're so worried about it, don't you think if he was that bad, he'd be repealing gay marriage, all these trans rights things, black rights to vote? Like, don't you think if they were really that racist, they would be doing that? Don't you think? Or they're just trying to hide it? What, for what? Making it more palatable? For what, though? If they really want an end game like that. Honestly, I've just noticed how scary the globalist agenda has been going on with this. So many celebrities asking for a temporary world government to take over for the corona. And I mean, it was kind of here. You've never seen every country just agree on something like it has been for the last little while. That doesn't happen. They don't just agree on everything. We're going to shut down this. We're going to do this. We're going to cancel all sports. We're going to cancel all concerts. And they all just follow suit. There's obviously a psyop behind that. There has to be. And I mean, it goes into even like anything that everybody's agreeing on, there's got to be something wrong with it. Even like the Antarctic treaties, that's so strange that, you know, these people that hate each other and hate their people and destroy everything, but they're worried about destroying some habitat in an ice continent. Really? You really care about that? No, you don't. There's something going on with that. With Antarctica, I don't know what it is, man. Something creepy about it. And they're always like, no, people can go to Antarctica. Yeah, but you can't go far in there, man. I don't know what they're hiding there, but something is going on. There's an answer to something in Antarctica. All these little places named after royalty, all like the mountains and things like that, all named after like British royalty. And you notice there's a lot of like British royalty that goes and visits down there, or it goes and like vacations down there. For what? What are you doing down there? Makes no sense to me. Like I said, they'll talk about how, oh yeah, Metallica played on Antarctica. Of course, they're Metallica. They can play wherever they want. sure if Trump was like, hey, I want to take a drive in Antarctica. Well, not a drive, but you know what I mean. They'd be like, yeah, sure, go for it. Show everybody that there's nothing to hide. But there is. For sure there is. You can't even take a boat. I think it's like below the 60th parallel or whatever it is they call it. But even when you're there, man, when you start looking into independent exploring and things like that of Antarctica, it's impossible. It's impossible. You have to get like permission from all the different countries that signed this treaty. You have to get permission from all of them. And if one of them objects, you don't get it. You're not allowed. And then you're not allowed motorized vehicles. So how far are you going to get, man? In like minus 60. Snow probably up to your chest. You're not getting far. But it's a little bit of a tangent. But back to like what I was saying. It's like all these people agreeing on everything. It doesn't add up to me. There's no way. These people don't agree on anything. But all of a sudden now they all agree. And they try to play like little games like the Republicans and Democrats going back and forth on the coronavirus. But in general, they all believe that everything should be shut down for the good of the people. And every country follows suit with that. All of them. But they'll try to play like, oh no, masks don't work. No, masks do work. Oh, this doesn't work. Oh, this does work. They'll play those little back and forths, but they won't play the actual back and forth of, you know, this is a bad idea for this reason, and we're not going to do it now. I don't know. I remember, I think it was George Carlin saying that it was like the same legs on, or two different legs on the same dog or something like that. And it's just so true. There's nothing going to be changed. Everybody thinks that, you know, if they elect their guy, everything's going to be changed. Honestly, as much as I enjoy Trump's quirks and his, like, little things that he does, he's done a lot of things that I don't like, mind you. Re-signing the Patriot Act for the U.S. for one. Like, that is disturbing. But, even though under Trump or under Obama, I never lost my Facebook account. I never got censored on there. I've had so many bans now and so many different types of censorship on the internet since Trump's been elected. And with Obama, none of that happened. Not once. Did I get kicked off or did I lose something or did I, you know, get a 30-day ban? It never happened. And is it just because the calmness of everybody at that time, that everybody was just calm, that, you know, their guy was in, Obama's in, the chill dude. And then when Trump's elected, no, now chaos has to ensue. So now, you know, now we got to go crazy and start banning people and doing this and that. It seems that way. It really does seem that way. But I don't know. It's hard to say. It's they cover it up good. They cover up everything good. I mean, even like the things that are real, like Operation Northwoods. Who knows about that? Not many people. Gulf of Tonkin, those kind of things are still kind of under the radar for most people. I mean, most people just don't care to look into it, but those are real things that happened, and still, not that many people care about it. Not many people at all. And like all these files being released and things like that, like the JFK files and stuff like that, you'll never actually know what happened. It's all speculation, man. And it's all speculation of different stories. People trying to muddy the waters. And I actually said that on a group the other day. I can't remember what the post was, but somebody adding some kind of really like outlandish fucking claim for something that like is legitimate. It was a conspiracy theory, and I don't really remember to get into it like that deeply, but it was like some kind of weird conspiracy theory, but somebody mentioned some crazy thought on it. And I'm like, that's exactly what happened with other things that people are on the cusp of exposing. And somebody says something stupid like that. Muddies the waters completely. And throws everything off. Makes everybody look stupid. Anybody that's into conspiracies are basically marginalized as loons because of these people that are even more loony than the regular theory people. And they mention all this crazy shit that's way outlandish, and then, that's it. It's done. Nobody cares to hear about it now. You pushed it too far. I don't know. But anyways, guys, that was my thoughts on this. I wanted to get my first episode kind of going, and I'll be back with another. Thanks for listening, and thanks for letting me talk.